I want to get you out the door with every result from every league in under 15 minutes, so that you're more informed about what's going on in the world of sports.
Hey TJ, what's going on? I'm Chandler and this is Tiger Beat Sports.
Hey everybody, I'm Chandler Sports and this is the Sport Report.
And I'm Chandler and this is Tiger Beat Sports. Welcome to a special edition of this all-crazy sports newscast.
Broadcasting from somewhere in the United States.
Hit it, Blaze.
This is the Sport Report.
Sunday, August 18th, 2019.
Hey everybody, I'm Chandler with Sports, and this is the Sport Report. It's time to get you caught up on what's happening in the world of sports. This is Top of the Order.
In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened.
This is Top of the Order.
This was not an easy decision. Our top story comes from the Etihad Stadium in Manchester, England, where Manchester City and Tottenham Hotspur drew 2-2. The honors were shared at the Etihad after a late winner was disallowed by the video assistant referee when it was determined that Emerick Laporte accidentally stuck an arm out to play the ball on to Gabriel Jesus, who would score the winner. The winner was overturned because a handball cannot lead to a goal. A handball, even if accidental, can come off the arm, can come off the hand. Regardless, it cannot lead to a goal. In this case, it did. It's not the first time that VAR has intervened in a Manchester City match. In a matchup between these two teams in the Champions League last season, Manchester City had a late goal disallowed. It would have put them through to the next round in the Champions League, but they were determined to be offside. Same stadium, same technology. Manchester City seemed to not be able to catch a break with the video assistant referee, which was implemented this season for the first time in the Premier League. I guess lightning does strike twice. Manchester City and Tottenham Hotspur were not the only soccer match on the calendar. Let's cover the rest of the matches.
Name on the trophy. And Solskjaer has won it. Manchester United have reached the promised land.
This is your soccer update. Other Premier League results: Arsenal 2, Burnley 1. Alexander Lacazette opened scoring for Arsenal in the 13th minute. Ashley Barnes drew level for Burnley just before half-time. And then Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang scored the winner 26 minutes from time in the 64th minute for Arsenal. They are not top of the table. Liverpool are top of the table after defeating Southampton 2-1. Sadio Mane scored just before half-time. Bobby Firmino added another. And backup goalkeeper Adrian kicked the ball off Danny Ings on accident when he was trying to clear the ball, and it went into the back of his own net. Liverpool still take all 3 points. Aston Villa 1, Bournemouth 2. Bournemouth scored twice inside 12 minutes, and Douglas Suarez tried to get one back for Villa, but it wouldn't be enough as the Cherries take all 3 points from Villa Park. Brighton of Albion 1, West Ham 1. Chicharito Hernandez has now scored 53 goals in the Premier League. All of them have come from within the box. Honours shared at the Amex on the South Coast. Everton 1, Watford 0. Bernard scored the only goal for the Toffees in the 10th minute. Norwich City 3, Newcastle 1. Timu Pukki, he's the Finnish striker for Norwich City, becomes the first Norwich player in 26 seasons to have a hat-trick in the Premier League. John Joe Shelvey got one back for Newcastle, but it wasn't enough, as the Canaries take 3 points against the Magpies at Carrow Road. And as we said, Manchester City 2, Tottenham Hotspur 2. Some notable results from the rest of the leagues in France: Amiens 1, Lille 0. Bordeaux 1, Montpellier 1. In Germany, Bayer Leverkusen 3, Paderborn 2. Borussia Dortmund 5, Augsburg 1. Werder Bremen 1, Fortuna Düsseldorf 3. Wolfsburg 2, Cologne 1. Borussia Mönchengladbach 0, Schalke 0. In Spain, Real Madrid 3, Celta de Vigo 1. Real Madrid are ahead of Barcelona in the La Liga table for the first time in 27 months after their win yesterday. Valencia 1, Real Sociedad 1. Major League Soccer. 10 games on the Major League Soccer calendar. New York Red Bulls 1, New England Revolution 1. Columbus Crew 2, Toronto FC 2. Josie Altidore scored a 90th minute equalizer for Toronto FC. Each team picks up a point. Montreal Impact 3, FC Dallas 3. Reto Ziegler scored a penalty for FC Dallas in the 85th minute, and then 5 minutes later, to level the score at 3, Ryan Hollingshead added the late equalizer. FC Cincinnati 1, New York City FC 4. Chicago Fire 2, Philadelphia Union 0. Nemanja Nikolic had 2 goals in 7 minutes just before halftime. Minnesota United 1, Orlando City 1. Nani had a 70th minute penalty for Orlando City, and then Abu Danladi had a 90th minute equalizer, which seemed to be the theme last night in Major League Soccer, for Minnesota United. Sporting Kansas City 2, San Jose Earthquakes 1. Chris Wondolowski had a 25th minute goal for the San Jose Earthquakes, but Sporting Kansas City responded with a Benny Feilhaber goal in the 50th minute and a Graham Smith winner in the 76th. Houston Dynamo 2, Colorado Rapids 2. Colorado led this game 2-0 up until the 74th minute when Mauro Manotas added a goal for Houston Dynamo. 5 minutes later, he added the equalizer. LA Galaxy 2, Seattle Sounders 2. Zlatan Ibrahimovic had 2 goals for the LA Galaxy, a wonderful header in the 45th minute, and then a penalty in the 66th. LA Galaxy went down to 10 men when Daniel Sturridge was given his marching orders or a straight red card in the 6th minute. Real Salt Lake 0, LAFC 2. Carlos Vela scored a 64th minute penalty for LAFC to get them on the board. They added another in the 82nd minute from Adama Diomande. In the final game of the night, Vancouver Whitecaps 1, DC United 0. Jordi Reyna scored the only goal in this match in the 18th minute for the Whitecaps. Aside from soccer, there were 15 Major League Baseball games. Let's get to it.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone! And Carlton Fisk had a lot of little boy in him right there.
Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight and the Mets win it.
Touch 'em all, Joe. Home run! Mike Piazza!
Jeter backhands from the outfield grass. Got it! Man, what a play!
Now from Major League Baseball.
We'll pick up at Fenway Park, where the Boston Red Sox defeat the Baltimore Orioles 4-0. Eduardo Rodriguez is 14-5 with a 4.1 ERA for the Red Sox. They held the Baltimore Orioles to 5 hits on the afternoon. They'll look to go for the sweep against the Orioles later today. Chicago Cubs 2, Pittsburgh Pirates 0. John Lester is 10-8 on the season with a 4.23 ERA for the Cubs. The Pittsburgh Pirates only had 4 hits against the Chicago Cubs pitching staff. New York Yankees 6, Cleveland Indians 5. Gleyber Torres has his 9th career multi-homer game, the most multi-homer games by a player before the age of 23. He had 2 homers in this one. James Paxton also improved to 9-6 on the season for New York. Aroldis Chapman gets his 35th save of the year for the Yankees. Seattle Mariners 4, Toronto Blue Jays 3. Kyle Seager hit a go-ahead home run in the top half of the 8th to give the Mariners the victory. Oakland Athletics 8, Houston Astros 4. A night after playing 12 innings, Oakland didn't waste any time scoring their 5 initial runs. They scored theirs in the 3rd inning to give them the early lead. They would add 3 more in the 5th, and while Houston would try to chip away in the 8th, it wouldn't be enough. Athletics win by 4. Tampa Bay Rays 1, Detroit Tigers 0. This one took 13 innings. The teams combined for 9 hits. The Rays, as a pitching staff, had 24 strikeouts, which is the most strikeouts by any staff in Major League history with 0 walks. Detroit didn't get any hits after the 7th inning, and it was Michael Brousseau who won the game for the Rays in the bottom half of the 13th when he singled to center field to score Eric Sogard. Cincinnati Reds 6, St. Louis Cardinals 1. Some people have been wondering why we haven't mentioned Aristides Aquino, aside from his 3-homer game. That's because every time we try to mention it, he breaks another record. He now has 11 homers in 17 games, which is 3rd most in history. He had the most homers through 14 games, through 10 games in Major League history. The man is setting records. He was the fastest to 10 homers as well. That took 16 games, beating Rhys Hoskins' record of 17 games. The Reds win by 5. Anthony DeSclafani is now 8-7 on the season for Cincinnati. Mike Michaelis falls to 7-13 for the Cardinals. San Diego Padres 5, Philadelphia Phillies 3. Nick Pivetta falls to 4-5 for the Phillies. Danielson Lamet improves to 2-2 on the season for the Padres. Kirby Yates gets his 34th save of the year for San Diego. New York Mets 4, Kansas City Royals 1. Jacob deGrom is 8-7 with a 2.61 ERA for the Mets. Jake Junis falls to 8-11 for the Royals. Pete the Polar Bear Alonso broke the deadlock in the top half of the 7th when he had a 2-run single for the Mets. Atlanta Braves 4, LA Dodgers 3. Sean Newcomb is 6-3 with a 3.46 ERA on the season for the Braves. Hyunjin Ryu falls to 12-3 with a 1.64 ERA. por los Doyers. Mark Melancon gets his third save of the season for Atlanta. Minnesota Twins 12, Texas Rangers 7. The Twins scored 6 runs in the first inning. Texas had 6 runs in the first 2 innings combined. Minnesota also added 2 in the top half of the second to take an 8-6 lead. This was a high-scoring affair through 2 innings. Both teams would settle in afterwards. Twins win by 5. Colorado Rockies 11, Miami Marlins 4. German Marquez is 12-5 on the season for Colorado. 3 more games on the calendar. San Francisco Giants 11, Arizona Diamondbacks 6. Brandon Belt hit a grand salami in this one. That came in the top half of the second inning. He had 6 RBI in this game. LA Angels 6, Chicago White Sox 5. Taylor Cole improves to 3-4 on the season for the Angels, as Hansel Robles gets his 18th save of the year for LA. And in the final game of the night, and we mean final game of the night, this one took 5 hours and 42 minutes. 14 innings of baseball at Nationals Park, and the Nationals had 3 separate chances to win the game, and they couldn't convert on either of them. Milwaukee Brewers 15, Washington Nationals 14. These two teams combined for 29 runs and 38 hits. Christian Yelich hit his 40th and 41st homers of the season. He had 5 hits in total. But it was Eric Thames who had the game-winning homer in the top half of the 14th. Washington got one back in the bottom half of the 14th and had a chance to score another run, but they couldn't do so. Junior Guerra improves to 7-4 with a 3.8 ERA for the Brew Crew. Javi Guerra falls to 1-1 for the Nationals. That's the Sport Report for Sunday, August 18th, 2019.
For now, I'm Chandler.
Thanks for tuning into the Sport Report today. We'll be back tomorrow with the latest in sports. Do you want to contact Chandler Sports or members of the Sport Report team? Visit sportreportcws.com. This podcast is copyrighted by the Sport Report for viewers to understand sports from a news reporting basis. Any other use of this podcast, Sport Report logos, or anything associated with this podcast without the express written consent of Chandler Sports is strictly prohibited.